We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard, and I wonder where you are.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am trying to make this intro super fast because I am about to head out the door to go to a baseball game. If you don't know, I go to Georgia Tech, and so it's a baseball game against Georgia and Georgia Tech, which is our biggest rivals like ever, and it's at Turner Field, and that's where the Atlanta Braves play, and y'all are curious. So yeah, I'm about to head out the door to go to that, and that's like basically what I did my face for today. I created this rose tone brown smoky eye type thing. This is the look that I wore on my birthday, but not with this lip color, with a different lip color. But yeah, I have honestly felt so discouraged for making makeup looks lately, just because I see so many amazing bloggers and makeup artists all over like the internet that are creating these like crazy colors with like glitter and rhinestones on their face and all this just amazing stuff. So it is just like made me feel like I have to be creating these like looks with all these different colors lately, and that's not the type of makeup I go for or typically like. And so I really just wanted to create this look because it's way more my comfort zone, and for y'all to be able to see makeup looks that I would be wearing, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Maybe not on a day-to-day basis, but when I'm doing something or like a more special occasion. So if you like this makeup look, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe if you enjoy the video, and yeah, let's just get into it. So I'm priming my face with my Makeup Forever Step 1 Hydrating Primer, just because I am going to use a more matte foundation and I don't want my dry patches to show through at all. And for foundations, I'm going to mix the L'Oreal Magic Lumi foundation with this L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation, and I am using the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, and I actually go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Spray. This is just like the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, basically a dupe for it, but I'm spraying that on my brush before I blend out my foundation and making a really cute face, just so that it blends out my foundation easier. Moving on to eyes, I'm using the Milani Eyeshadow Primer and just putting that all over the lids. Self-explanatory. And then I'm going to use, what's the color? I'm going to use Buff from the Lorac Pro II Palette, which is just basically a skin tone color just to set down that eyeshadow primer. And then taking Nectar from the palette, I am gonna put this all over my crease with a Morphe 441 brush, like usual, and just blend it like all over my upper crease, which is just going to be our transition color. And then I'm sorry some of these shots are out of focus, but you know, what can you do? And so using light brown from the palette, I'm going to put that in the same area as I put Nectar, just a little bit lower and a little bit more concentrated, and using the same Morphe 441 brush. And blending and blending. And then I'm going to take Mocha from the palette. It's so funny because my dog's name is Mocha, so every time I read the name Mocha, it just makes me laugh because my dog's funny. I don't know. But I'm going to put this shadow all over my lid, and this is where the rose gold is really going to come from. And just packing that everywhere, and I'm really focusing on pressing that into my lid instead of swiping it so that I don't get a lot of fallout since I've already put my foundation down. And so I'll pack that on, and then I'll go back in with that Morphe 441 brush and just blend it out with like no additional product. And yeah, and then for the outer corners, I'm going to use Cocoa from the palette as well, obviously. And I'm using a Morphe 433 brush, and I just pack that in the outer corners, and then once I have the color packed in there, then I blend it out a little bit more. And then of course do the same on the other eye. Just pack it into the corner and then blend it out as you get less product on your brush. And then I'll go back in with the Morphe 443 brush again and just blend out the edges. And then I'm even going to go back in with that buff shade, like you can see here, on a bigger fluffy brush and just put that all above where I just blended everything out, just because I felt like my shadows went a little too high there. I'm sorry, the camera's super shaky. Now taking my favorite concealer ever, the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This one's in the shade 10 Light. I'm going to put that under my eyes, around my nose where you get redness, on my Cupid's bow just to highlight a little bit, on my chin, around my mouth where I also get red, and then down my nose, I don't know if I already said that, and on my forehead. And then I'm blending it out with a dampened sponge. And for powder, I'm going to use the RCMA No Color Powder. Using the same damp sponge, I'm going to just dip that into the powder and tap that under my eyes, just making sure to really work that powder into my under eye area and the concealer that I just put down. For the rest of my face, I'm going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte powder and just press that into the rest of my face so that when I put on bronzer and blush, my foundation doesn't move at all. Now after I do my brows off camera, I'm going to move back into the lower lash line, and using that mocha color again, I am going to place that right underneath my bottom lashes, and that's the only eyeshadow color I'm going to use under there, just keeping it super simple. And I am using a Morphe 432 brush. And then I will blend it back out with my Morphe 441 brush. Again, no additional product, just making sure there's no harsh lines. Now for my waterline, I am using the NYX Slide On Gel Eyeliner in the shade Jewel. And this is just a purple taupish shade. I don't know, I really liked it. It didn't show up that much, but it worked. And for winged eyeliner, I'm using my NYC Liquid Liner. Of course, it is the blackest eyeliner I own. And I actually really love the way my wing turned out, so I had to do the other one off camera just to make sure I didn't mess that one up at all. And then I go ahead and put on lashes. These are some ones I got off Amazon for like $1. I will link them down below. And for bronzer, I'm going to take this Laguna bronzer by Nars. This is like a Laguna Orgasm duo set I got forever ago. But I'm just going to take the Laguna side and bronze up my face. And just putting that on my cheekbones, on my temples, down my neck to make sure my foundation blends in perfectly, and a little bit on my nose. And then I will take the Orgasm side for blush and press that onto me face, which you see here. And I'm focusing more on pressing the blush in instead of swiping it too much, just to make sure I don't move my foundation. For highlight, I'm going to use this Wet n Wild highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals, and I am upset because I have so much texture on that side of my cheek. But I'm using a e.l.f. small tapered brush. This has been my go-to highlighting brush for the past month or so. And I'm just going to put that on my nose, my cheekbones, on my Cupid's bow, and a little bit on my forehead. For lip liner, I'm going in with this Milani. I always say I'm going in. Like I'm going in, blah, blah, blah. I'm going in. I'm going in. Oh my gosh, shut up. I'm using this Milani lip liner in the shade 04 All Natural. And then on top of that, I'm going to use this Colourpop and Kathleen Lights collab color in the shade Lumiere 2, which is just a really good purple-y shade. And then I feel like I messed it up a little bit, so I cleaned it up with a little bit of concealer. And then I'm going to use my highlighting powder again to highlight my inner corners and my brow bone, just to match the highlight on my face. And then off camera, I'm gonna finish up my mascara, and then we will have the finished look. And so thank you guys so much for watching, being so sassy, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.
We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost.